What's up, ladies and gents? Welcome to Sherlock Holmes Crimes and Punishment. This is a game that I actually can't believe I've never played before. I played the sequel, The Devil's Daughter, and I have a walkthrough of that up on the channel, but I just can't believe that I never actually got around to playing the original. I believe the sequel was a real true sequel to the game. So now we're finally going to make a full circle here and to kind of get, I guess, ready for the new prequel Sherlock Holmes games that is coming out sometime in 2021. I don't remember exactly when it's coming out. So first of all, thank you all for tuning in. I was making a hard decision on how we were going to go about to do this. You guys know me, I love to do walkthroughs, but sometimes some games I also like to have a little fun with and to get to experience with you guys. So I saw some comments on the post that I did saying that you guys wouldn't mind having, like a blind playthrough of this as well as the walkthrough. So this is going to be the blind playthrough. We're going to learn everything. We're going to know what we need to do as we go through it, take our time, have a good time. And then, of course, I will make a 4K video of the PC version. This is the Xbox Series X version, for those of you that don't know, as you can see. You can tell it's a Series X because it has the auto HDR there on the right side that you can see. And then we'll do the PC version for the actual walkthrough, where it'll be more immersive and you'll just go through the story bits and stuff like that. Where this is going to be laid back, figuring it out, seeing, all the different outcomes and whatnot, and just hopefully having a good time. So welcome to the stream. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. Good news, I can go ahead and say it, is that Ella got her results back and her amino acids are perfect. They are fine. All her levels are normal. There is nothing. She does not have IMSUD, which is something we are so happy for, and I was waiting until the stream to tell everybody. So that's all good news. Ella is 100% good. Nintendo is 100% good. He's back from pancreatitis, and we've just been blessed. So thank you for all the love and the prayers over the past few days on that. So let's check out some options and make sure we got everything. This is the Xbox Series X version, so I definitely want to make sure that camera accesses and all that stuff are correct. Of course, subtitles is going to be on here. How to play there, give you a little look to see. But we'll go through it. I'm sure it's going to pretty much explain to us everything that we need to go through as we go through it. Again, I did play The Devil's Daughter, so I know I've played this type of game before. It's just I've never played this one, so this is the one before that. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how it turns out. If there's anything wrong with any of the levels in the game, audio-wise or whatever, let me know so we can fix them and have them nice and good to go. So with that being said, we're going to start up a new game, and it's go time. Let's do it. In memory of the Ukrainian Heavenly Hundred. All right, so this mission is called The Fate of Black Peter. Hopefully you guys can hear me again. I turned down the audio just a little bit, so hopefully you'll be able to hear me a little bit better. All right, so it starts us out with this little scene here. Let me get my bearing straight. So up is down, down, okay. Yes, I'm actually still in the military. I've been in the military now 20 years this year. It's crazy to think about it.
You are utterly mad. Stop, Holmes!
Is that you, Watson?
Yes, of course it is. And you almost killed me.
Nonsense. I was aiming for the vases.
Blindfolded?
Watson, quiet please. I'm trying to concentrate. Ah, Lestrade. What is it this time?
He can see me. Well, here it is, and it's a good one, Mr. Holmes. A gentleman by the name of Peter Carey, also known as Black Peter, has been murdered.
A sailor, most probably.
What happened here?
Oh, Mr. Holmes, how could you?
It's the only exercise I've had all week. A grateful client from Limoges sent me a vase collection this morning. I couldn't think of a better use for it.
You're out of your mind.
I missed 4 out of 10.
Given you were blindfolded, that was very good. Can I have a try?
Am I the only sane one here?
I suppose that Watson is right, Inspector. A little brain work would be preferable now. Do please tell us more about Black Peter.
Peter Carey, born in 1845 and 50 years old. An ambitious sort, he achieved much success in seal and whale hunting around Scandinavia. Retired in 1884 with a small fortune. He invested his money in a property called Woodman's Lee, near Forest Row in Sussex. It was where he lived for 6 years, and where he was found dead yesterday.
Has the investigation already begun?
Yes and no. In fact, this crime is so mysterious that I would prefer you to join me down there.
Give me half an hour to prepare, Inspector.
Take your time and join me there. I have to go through the yard first. The Medi men struck again.
What have they done this time?
They robbed a powder reserve. I'll meet you at Woodman's Lee, Mr. Holmes.
I should help Mrs. Hudson here. I also have several appointments that I must keep this afternoon.
I shall go alone then.
Amazing how good this game looks for being, what is it, 2014? So if I'm not mistaken, you can actually go into first or third person in this game. I don't know which one is which. Probably the back button. Let's see, we got RB. Got to get used to all the controls here. There it is. So B. B actually lets you go into first or third person. Ooh. What a lovely looking woman. So what do you guys want to see this in? Do you want to see this in first, or do you want to see it in third? You can choose either one. But obviously with third person you actually get to see Sherlock moving around.
You go along to Peter Carey's house. Mrs. Hudson and I will take care of the mess you've made here.
I definitely do get a sense of Benedict Cumberbatch as well in this Sherlock.
Oh, what a mess! What a terrible mess!
All right, looks like everyone's saying third, okay? Right now, let's look at our thing. So we need to investigate the murder of Peter Carey, inspect the crime scene at Woodman's Lee, and select a suit to wear using our personal wardrobe and join Lestrade at Woodman's Lee. All right, let's check out the other tabs here. So we got Baker Street and Woodman's Lee. This is our evidence. This is Peter Carey. He is known as Black Peter. He's about 50 years old, and we need to find out exactly what happened to him. And you also have a full kind of history of everything that they've said in the game. So if you need to go back to something that one of the characters says, you can do that, which is actually pretty cool. Souvenirs, novelties, party tricks. Okay, so we'll figure all that stuff out later. Again, this is the blind playthrough. I don't know what's going on. However, the walkthrough will be different. It'll be pretty much exactly to the point, knowing exactly what to do, when to do it, and have it be pretty smooth, with very minimal commentary, if any. All right, so wardrobe. We need to change what we're wearing. Some of them are grayed out or locked. Let's see. We got suit, brown. Let's go with a black suit. It looks like we also have a makeup table. So if we wanted to change our hair and hat options. So I guess this is a lot of good replay value. For those, I guess you unlock these maybe the more... If you play the whole game, you have all of them unlocked to you. Just gives you a kind of a glimpse of what the different types of things you can get into. Oh, I like that, man. For 2014, that looks pretty good. All right, so I think we're ready to go. We're all nice and dressy, and we're gonna head out. I think you can get there via the map, but I also think you can do it via just by leaving. Before we do, however, let's go take a look at Watson's office as well. Now, if I remember correctly, this pretty much looks exactly the same as the sequel as far as the office goes in the house. I don't think anything's really changed. All right, let's head out. So we are going to Woodman's Lee. There's also, I believe, a cutscene that plays in between when you're moving around. This allows you to open your casebook, check on clues, you know, try to come up with conclusions while the loading screen is going on. This is on the Series X, so probably won't be a lot of loading screens as this is a fairly fast machine.
Mr. Holmes, I'm over here. Come on.
All right, here we go. So we need to meet up with them first. Let's talk to them first, I guess, before we really do anything here.
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
Look, we just picked up our first clue on the way. I love how you have free camera movement and control. And then again, at any time, you can just go right into first person. Very cool.
Inspector Lestrade, when will you remove my husband's body? It's sacrilegious to leave him here like this.
As soon as we can, Mrs. Carey, I assure you. Allow me to introduce you to Mr. Sherlock Holmes. He's a detective. No doubt you've heard of him. I'll wait for you in front of the cabin, Mr. Holmes.
My condolences, Mrs. Carey.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
All right, so first thing we're going to do is the character portrait. I remember you being able to do that. So we're going to hit the X. This is going to like kind of give her a once-over, I guess. And then over that, we get to kind of deduce what she's all about, the kind of things that she wears, the kind of person she is by that inner thought system here. So, all right, let's do it. Cameo. Catholic Rosary. Crested Tit. Boy, I don't know why, it just makes me laugh every time I say that. Gardening Gloves. And Birdhouse. Alright, so as you can see, that gave us a little bit more to talk to. So let's start the conversation and find out what happened.
Madam, can you tell me if you saw or heard anything unusual upon the night of the murder?
At 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard a terrible scream. But I thought nothing of it then. He would scream all the time when he was drunk.
Can you please tell me what occurred on the evening of the murder?
Well, Peter got drunk in the evening. He was in such a terrible temper. Usually whenever that happened, he'd stay all night drinking in his cabin before passing out.
Do you remember at what time you found your husband's body?
In the morning, at around 7 o'clock, I noticed the cabin door was open. But I didn't go in to take a look, for I knew my husband would not have liked it. At around 10 o'clock, I dared to glance in through the door and... oh dear.
Was your husband accustomed to receiving visitors?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I mean, he didn't really have many friends. He lived quite an isolated life here, after his retirement.
The garden is very large and well maintained. Do you employ someone to look after it?
It is true, there is a lot of work, but my husband took care of it himself.
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey. Nevertheless, I believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes, life with Peter was never easy, but he was still my husband.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
Oh, quick time event. Choose the evidence that confronts the statement of a character in order to continue the investigation. So, pilgrimage, well-kept garden, profile. Obviously, it would be pilgrimage, right? Because Plymouth, pilgrimage. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense.
You undertook a pilgrimage to the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela when you were young. That much is evident from the rosary in your hand. The shortest route for the pilgrim from England to Spain is from Plymouth. I believe that you met Peter Carey as a young sailor there, and you married him soon afterwards.
That is indeed what happened, Mr. Holmes. How extraordinary.
I love
madam.
the facial animations. All right, so it looks like we talked to her, so I guess now we got to kind of head down to the crime scene.
Mr. Holmes?
What was that? I can definitely tell you that the PC version is far superior. As I opened up the PC version, because that's what I'm going to be doing the walkthrough on, and it looks remarkably better, even more than the Series X version. A little clunky on the controls in third person, though. All right, first things first, let's do a little exploring here. Hit RB. Got some footprints. And we can examine them.
These footprints appear to be quite large.
All right, so we're looking for someone with large footprints. But here's the thing. I mean, this could be anybody. I mean, let's be honest. It could be. I mean, why do we can't just assume this would be a killer's footprints. As look how many people are here. Kind of anyways, you know, unless they've all made sure they walked on the path here.
Peter Carey's body is inside the cabin. We took care not to touch anything.
All right, so let's head in.
The door is locked.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Holmes, and I'll open it. I locked it yesterday to ensure that no one should enter the cabin and tamper with the evidence.
Ah, good thinking.
Hello, hello, hello.
What is it, Lestrade?
It seems to me that someone has tried to force it, Mr. Holmes.
Let me see.
Door lock. Scratches on the door.
These scratches are fresh.
So someone tried to break in after he locked it.
You're right. Someone tried to force open the door.
I swear these scratches were not here yesterday.
Our mysterious visitor came here last night.
Well, he's not the man for the job. This lock is not a difficult one.
Perhaps he did not have the right tool.
All right, let's head inside.
What a terrible way to die.
All right, so when I'm in a place like this, just because of how cramped it can be. We're going to go ahead and switch to first person just to make everything kind of smooth, I guess you could say. I mean, I gotta say, this game still looks so good today. This is crazy. All right, let's just start from this edge of the room, and then we'll make our way. So we have a map.
Dundee. Hammerfest. It's a whaling map.
Okay, so it looks like when something has been explored completely, it shows up in green, so remember that. Suspicious empty space with outlined in dust.
This place is not covered with dust, like the rest of the shelf. An object was taken from here. It was larger than a book. A box or a small chest, perhaps.
Okay. So something has been... We need to find that.
The tooth of a sperm whale, probably from one of Peter Carey's catches.
Can you guys hear the sound of the game good enough, hopefully? Hopefully I didn't turn it down too low. Alright, so we're going to keep making our way kind of to the right here, I guess.
The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain.
Well, we don't even know who the suspects are, so can't really make a poll when we don't know the suspects yet.
Harpoons for hunting whales.
Oh, we found a pair of boots. That means we can check those outside.
Peter Carey's boots. They look to be a size 8. Old navigation instruments, nothing interesting.
Hey, Green, what's up, bud? Alright, so everything looks to be done here.
The Sea Unicorn. She was the ship that Peter Carey commanded.
Yeah, it's the best way to get to be able to see every little thing in more detail is to go into first person when it's like this. All right, let's before we go to the body, let's check the table.
Rum, a sailor's drink. Someone drank from this glass recently. It seems that Captain Carey was enjoying a drink before he met his death.
Which tells me that he could have known his killer, because I see 2 glasses. So that tells me that the killer and him were having a drink before all of this went down. Rotate the object in any direction to examine it thoroughly.
The initials PC have been crudely burned. A sailor's work.
All right, so the owner of this pouch is a sailor. It could be Peter Carey's, right? PC. So, I mean, makes sense.
This aroma is familiar, but to recognize it, I must construct my associations in one picture.
Ooh, it's one of these puzzles where you gotta put the whole thing together. Okay, okay. All right, I'm seeing something here. Oh, okay. It looks like it would be together there. Hold that down, and then you can move this over here. Now you can only move it left or right, so it needs to be up. It doesn't look like it's matching perfectly. Ooh, there we go. We got it.
Yes.
Nice.
This is a coarse tobacco, quite strong and very popular among sailors.
Sounds like something Green would do. All right, I think we've got all the evidence that we need in here so far. Now it's time to examine the body. Man, the detail on this, that's a good thumbnail too. Like have the thing over there and then you can take that as your thumbnail for, like, that might be my thumbnail for the walkthrough. I can make it. Pictures. All right, let's check out the body.
This man is in his 50s, yet he still looks quite strong.
All right, so we established that he is strong. And he's in his 50s, so he's a little bit older.
Peter Carey was fully dressed. He was not caught by surprise. It is possible that he knew his murderer.
And of course, since he knew his murderer, that means, like I said, it goes with they were having drinks before everything went down. Like everything on the top is done. Okay, so that just takes...
This blood is from the pool underneath the dead body. This wooden handle is plain and solid. Peter Carey tried to defend himself with this knife, but he did not succeed. JHN are probably the initials of the owner of this notebook.
Thank you so much, Robster. I appreciate the donation, man. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Everyone give a big shout out to Robster. Thanks, bud.
The pattern of the blood stain indicates that the notebook was not lying on the floor prior to the crime, but it was dropped into the pool of blood after the death of Peter Carey.
All right, so this, what they're saying is it happened after. So this fell into the pool of blood after this whole thing already had set itself up. So we got abbreviations.
These abbreviations mean something, but what?
Pierced
The weapon
chest.
fully penetrated the body. The force of the blow was immense. Peter Carey was impaled to the wall by a whaling harpoon.
Thank you, Jellybean. I appreciate it. All right, so it looks like Peter Carey has been fully examined. I'm not seeing anything else. And it looks like Inspect Woodmansley has been completed. Okay. So we need to start putting some clues together. And this is how you do it. I remember vaguely a little bit about this. You have to go from one to the next. You have to bring them together. So, all right, so we've got break-in attempts. Several unsuccessful attempts were made to break in. Pinned to the wall. No gardener. Says that her husband took care of the garden himself, therefore there's not a gardener. She might be hiding something. And we've got notebook. Let's see if we do notebook to break-in attempts. There we go. All right, so we got our first set of clues lined up. An ambush must be made tonight to see if the break-in attempt will be completed. Robster, thank you for becoming the newest member as well. Everyone give him another big shout out for becoming the newest member to the channel. Thank you, bud.
Someone was here yesterday. They attempted to force the door to gain entry.
All right, so we need to organize an ambush. Very well. It's time to head out. I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go up here again. And we're going to see if she has anything to say about any of the findings that we have just come up with.
Is this your husband's tobacco pouch?
I'm not sure. It might be, but he hadn't smoked in a very long time.
Your husband's private papers. Do you know where they are?
There was a small tin box, barely larger than a book. He kept his papers there. It should be somewhere in his cabin.
Thank you, madam.
All right, so that tells me that she does not know where that box is. So I think that's all we can do. Let's talk to Lestrade and get this ambush set up, prepared.
Well, Mr. Holmes, what do you think?
I think that we are lucky.
And why is that?
Because of last night's attempted break-in.
Oof, you've lost me.
It is very probable that whoever came here hoped to find the door open. They tried to force it with a knife blade, but they failed. What will they do? Why, return tonight, when they will be better prepared.
Aha! So what do you propose?
We shall remain on the outside, near the window, where we stand the best chance of catching sight of our visitor. Well, gentlemen, ready your pistols. We have a long night ahead of us.
All right, so I think we need to find a place to hide out, I guess. Very well.
This looks like the perfect hiding place.
Well, thank you for your service as well, Robster. I appreciate it. Oh, wow, that loaded up pretty quick.
Shh! Did you hear that? There's someone there. I'm gonna collar him.
I'll be right behind you.
Police! Hold it right there.
Mr. Holmes?
Thank you for your
All
service,
right, my
Robster.
fine fellow. Who are you and what are you doing here?
You're detectives, I suppose. You imagine that I'm connected with the death of Captain Carey. I assure you I'm innocent.
Innocent? And what are you doing in his cabin?
Shall I tell you? You came to retrieve what you had lost after killing Peter Carey, but we were here waiting for you.
What is your name?
John Hopley Nelligan, but I didn't...
Do you deny that you came here yesterday?
No, but yes, it's just that I couldn't...
I'm tired of this. Off we go to the yard. Tomorrow, I'll see that you're put in front of the judge.
What? But you can't! I'm not... It's a terrible mistake!
Enough. You can explain all of that to the judge. You're coming with me to the yard.
But...
In light of recent events, it seems evident that your coming here was unnecessary. All the same, I'm very grateful to you, Mr. Holmes.
You are welcome, Inspector, but please don't be too hard on our young fellow. I would like to question him tomorrow morning.
All right, if I'm not mistaken, he had the same initials as the notebook, right? So if we go... We didn't check the boots, did we? We need to check the boots. See, it automatically took us out of where we were. See how there's an icon on the boots there? Where is it that I can find... Yes, right here. That's it. So, if I'm not mistaken, that notebook, the front of it said JHN, which is the same guy. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. All right, so we need to examine Nilligan's belongings. All right. We're also going to check out those boots as well once I do this. Yes, this is the same area that's in the sequel game as well.
These are the suspect's belongings.
All right, first things first, the
A
handkerchief.
with the initials JHN. The notebook that we found on Peter Carey's cabin floor. These abbreviations mean something, but what? A pocket knife. It was used to force the door of Peter Carey's cabin.
One ring to rule them all. Let's see, how do we move this? Okay.
From R. Dawson. To my friend and partner, 1883. Dawson. I've seen this name before. Perhaps my archive holds the answer.
Hey, Altair, how you doing, bud? All right, looks like we're done. Now, there's a few things that we need to check out. All right, first off, we're going, before we actually start talking to this guy, we're going to head back to Woodman's Lee. Now, we're going to be doing this, I think, multiple times. That's the whole point about mysteries, is you need to go back and forth between different places once you've uncovered new clues. I didn't know that it was going to force us to come here first before I got a chance to actually check out the boots. We want to get rid of every clue that we can when we can, right? So I think if we go... There it is. All right, so... Okay, you gotta hold it and then press down.
These boots don't match the footprints.
All right, so now we know that these boot prints are not from the actual the victim himself. So now that we know that, we can kind of move on from there. So that definitely helps us out. So now we can head actually to Baker Street, which is our house. There is some evidence that we need to find, or should I say we need to locate information on something that we have. The Scotland, where is it? The thing with, gosh, what's his name? When we were looking at the stuff there at Scotland Yard, it pretty much told us that we needed to check back home and check out our library. Yeah, there it is. Dawson, that's it. All right, so a heavy gold ring with the inscription from R. Dawson to my friend and partner. 1883, so we're in 1883, and Dawson, and right there. The Dawson and Nilligan Investment Fund, a regional banking institution based in Cornwall, has declared bankruptcy as a result of heavy losses in its loan portfolio and has accordingly been assigned for liquidation. Doing my best to do my British accent here. It was the 23rd largest bank in Britain, and its bankruptcy was the second largest on record. The liquidation company is pure catastrophe with many Cornwall families. Joshua Nilligan, one of the bankers, has since mysteriously disappeared. He was late seen aboard his yacht preparing for departure to Norway. Nilligan is wanted both by the police and his creditors.
Here it is. Now I begin to understand that young man's story, but I am still unclear as to what connects him with the murder. It is time to ask him.
Yes, if you are gonna get it on Epic Games, it was free like a few weeks ago or a month or so ago. You can actually, you could have got it for free a few months ago. If not, make sure you use my code Cinestrain01 if you're gonna get it on Epic Games Store. Helps the channel out. All right, so we found that clue, which tells us that
My archive. I can always consult with it if needed.
that we can head now back to Dawson. Okay, yeah, we can head back to Scotland Yard and actually interrogate the suspect now that we have more clues. Again, there's going to be a lot of going back and forth trying to figure all this out. Still very amazed at how good this game looks 7 years later. Wow.
Good morning, Mr. Holmes. Can I help you?
Good morning, Constable. I would like to speak to the fellow who was arrested at Woodman's Lee last night.
Ah, the young man. He's waiting in the interrogation room. You can go straight through. His belongings are held in the evidence room.
Thank you.
What's up, Edgar? How you doing, bud? Aw, love you too, bud.
Mr. Holmes?
All right, so we already got the evidence. We did that. I believe Lestrade's office is in here.
Locked.
Locked? There's... What does that say? The morgue? Okay, obviously. Deal with that too. We already checked the body, though, so we don't need to do...
Mr. Holmes?
All right, since we're getting in very, very close, we're going to switch over to first person just to make things hopefully a little bit easier. All right, first thing first is we're going to do the character profile because I always like to know, because that sometimes unlocks more things to talk about. So there's a total of 4 right now. Let's do the character profile. And we'll make our way down. Shabby cap. He's got a patch. Expensive fabric. Elaborate buttons. So this... Short sleeves. So first of all, we can already tell that he stitched this together. It's made from the fabric is very expensive, but he's put patches on it. It doesn't fit him, so it tells me that it wasn't his to begin with. He's got calluses and scars, so he's a working man. And he's got a thin neck. Well, I don't know what that would do.
I have heard the story of Dawson and Nelligan, the West Country bankers.
Yes. Joshua Nelligan was my father.
I am aware that it had a bad ending. When the bank failed, it ruined half the families of Cornwall, whereupon Joshua Nelligan disappeared.
My father was under extraordinary pressure. Dawson had retired. I was only 10 years of age at the time, but it was still old enough to feel the shame that befell our family. My father was convinced that he could pay off all his debts if the creditors gave him time. He set sail for Hammerfest in Norway in his small yacht, just a few days before an arrest warrant was issued. He left my mother a list of the securities he was taking. No word was ever heard from him again. We believe that his vessel went down, taking with it everyone and everything on board.
Thank you for the story, Mr. Nelligan. At last, we are making some progress. Does this notebook belong to you?
Yes. But where did you find it? I did not know... I thought I'd lost it at the hotel.
What do these abbreviations mean?
Oh, no. I beg you, I can't. If I told you, it would only make things worse.
But I will find out eventually, Mr. Nelligan. The sea knife was found near Carey's body. Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, did Mr. Carey try to defend himself or to attack you with it?
I don't know. I didn't kill anyone.
The police seized this valuable ring from you. Whose is it?
I didn't steal it from anyone. It has always belonged to me.
All right, so it has always belonged to me. We know that that's not true because this was he would have been a kid when that was. So obviously it's not his. So we could either go with father's jacket or the rings engraving. I'm going to go with the rings engraving because it clearly says partner, and he would not have the chance to actually be a partner.
The ring's date of engraving is many years ago. You would have been a child then, hardly in any position to receive such an item from a partner. So, Mr. Nelligan, who is the true owner of the ring?
The ring is mine.
Okay, so now we can go with the father's jacket because it's obviously his father's jacket, which tells us that the ring can be his father's as well.
No, Mr. Nelligan. I believe that the ring had belonged to your father.
Oh, but how do you know?
The jacket you are wearing is made of an expensive fabric that only a man of exceptional wealth could afford. You do not seem to me to be a rich man, Mr. Nelligan. Furthermore, the garment is ill-fitting. It is quite clear that it belonged to someone else, most probably your father. With your father gone and taking with him the family's wealth, as a little boy you had to find yourself a manual job, and it was most probably cleaning fish. You cut your hands often while working. I can tell from the scars.
I'm speechless, Mr. Holmes. It all happened exactly as you say.
Interesting. Joshua Nelligan and Peter Carey were both at sea in Norway. There is definitely some connection between Peter Carey and Joshua Nelligan's disappearance.
Is it just me, or does he look like pale compared to what he just looked like in the cutscene? All right, so as you can see, we've got more clues to put together, so we can hit Y. And let's start to do this. This has always been the trickiest part for me. So Peter Carey is a non-smoker. We got swift actions. Let's take a look at each one, and then we'll try to get them together. Peter Carey was armed with his knife, but he did not have time to use it. The murderer acted quickly and instinctively. No gardener. Missing tin box. Pinned to the wall. Break-in attacks. Let's try pin to the wall and break-in attacks. Actually, hold on. A notebook with bloodstains on it covered neither was dropped in the pool of blood. It belongs. All right. Ah, so no. It's got to be the break. No, it's not that one either. Wow. Okay. There we go. All right. Swift action was the one. We need to find out whether an unskilled and untrained man could use a harpoon well enough to kill by fully piercing the body.
I need to stage a reconstruction. I am sure that Watson would be happy to oblige.
All right, so we need to prepare for a harpoon accident. Let's see, can we talk to...
Locked.
Nope, all right. So if we're going to do that... Oh, we also have the character portraits. Remember, these are we get these when we actually go through and look at each individual person up close. So we need to go and see Watson. We're going to go here and head to Baker Street. I just love games like these. I need to start doing more detective style games, you know, especially because there's also a game in this. There's so many games in the Sherlock Holmes kind of era. Maybe they don't look as good as this, but there's still some really good ones that have some really good mysteries to them. All right, let's talk to our dog.
Brave Toby, the best nose in the British Empire.
Yeah, I do remember that you could actually go outside in the second game. You had a lot more freedom to move around, and I think the world was bigger.
A spot of whaling, Watson. Would you care to take part?
Are you serious?
No, but we do need to clarify what happened on the night of Black Peter's murder.
A reenactment, then? Is something bothering you?
The sailor's knife, Watson. Why was it on the floor?
Peter Carey attempted to defend himself?
It is possible. But if that is the case, then it alters many things.
I don't quite follow you.
Tell me, my friend, what is the animal closest to man, morphologically, I mean?
Ah, I see what you're getting at, Holmes. You asked me that once before. On the Ripper case, I believe. Do you want to slit some more pigs' throats?
No.
Thank goodness for that.
I wish to impale one with a harpoon.
Wonderful.
Watson, let us pay a visit to our butcher friend in Whitechapel. We require the carcass of a well-fed pig.
And the harpoon?
One of the harpoons on the wall of Black Peter's cabin should do quite nicely.
Yeah, I think I've heard of those games. I've never played them, though, but I have heard of them. All right, so first things first, we need to head to Woodman's Lee again, because we need to pick up the harpoon. Do you guys remember that there was 3 harpoons? One was in the guy, and then the 2 other ones were still hanging on the wall. That's why you got to really pay attention to detail, because the game doesn't just go out and say what you need to do. Like, it doesn't tell you exactly where you need to go. Like if you go, what is it, here I think? Investigate, John Nelligan seems unusual. Ship logs for the year might put some light on the connection between these two. Watson will be glad to help you with the preparation and the harpoon throwing experiment, but it doesn't tell you where the harpoon would be. So I think there's 2 things we need to do here. The ship logs and the harpoon. Sorry, I know I was in first person. I keep forgetting sometimes that you can switch back. Let's do this one first.
1883. That's the one I need. This is the crew list of the Sea Unicorn.
Okay, so this is the crew.
Log notes for June. Nothing unusual. Log notes for July. Nothing special. Log notes for August. These pages have been torn away. Log notes for August. These pages have been torn away. Canadian Pacific Railway, CPR, a torn piece from a bond certificate. I have seen this abbreviation somewhere very recently. There are 3 ways of discovering what happened in August of 1883 aboard the Sea Unicorn. The first 2 of these will require speaking with a dead man. The last would be to locate vital witnesses, the sailors involved in this whale hunt campaign.
All right. And let's pick up the harpoon.
That should do it. Now I am ready for the experiment.
The lighting in this is so good. I'm so excited for the new one that's going to be coming. I hope it's going to live up to the hype, because I'm pretty sure we're all excited for it. All right. Yep. So first things first is we're going to head to the butcher. As you can see, we have multiple ways that we can go with everything going on. Look around first, see if there's...
Well, here we are in the preparation room. I can't say that I like the smell of it much. What do you intend to do?
To indulge myself in a little experiment. The challenge of lancing a pig's carcass with a heavy harpoon.
A little experiment?
Stand aside, Watson. This might be dangerous. I am not well practiced in this exercise, yet.
Holmes, you should aim for the mark in order to perform the most reliable test.
All right, so hold breath and... Yeah, I think I got what's... Ooh,
Holmes, you should try to aim better and throw as hard as you can.
Okay. Little bit low. Oh. Thought I had it that time. There we go. Nice.
This is the best possible result that I could get. Do you see, Watson? Throwing a harpoon and pinning a man to a wall requires either exceptional strength and training or diabolical luck.
If it was luck, then it was a chance in 1,000 that night.
Well, yes. Let us leave now.
All right. But before we go, I suppose I'll have to pay for all these carcasses you've happily mangled.
Very well, but please hurry.
Of course.
All right, so now we do have some more clues, I believe, where it could be... Uh-oh. Oh, the game just crashed on me. What? What? Wow. Hopefully that's saved. Man, this might be one of the first games that's crashed on me on the new Xbox. Was not expecting a crash right there. Totally Sexy Time's fault. Brandon's fault. All right, well, hopefully it's saved. We don't have to go too far back. I guess Watson can't pay the butcher now. Now remember, there are 5 cases, and we're going to stream every single one of them. It'll be different streams that we do. All right, so it looks like we do have to do this part again. That sucks. It happens.
Well,
To induct
a little...
standard.
All right, let's see if I can get it on the first time
Holmes,
now.
you should aim for the mark.
Oh, of course not. There we go. Second time's a charm.
This is the best possible result that I could get. Do you see, Watson? Throwing a harpoon and pinning a man to a wall requires either exceptional strength and training or diabolical luck.
If it was luck, then it was a chance in 1,000 that night.
Well, yes. Let us leave now.
All right. But before we go, I suppose I'll have to pay for all these carcasses you've happily mangled.
Very well, but please hurry.
Of course.
All right, so it finally worked. All right, yep, we have a +1, which usually when it says +1, that tells us that there's some connections that we can actually make. All right, so let's start this here. We've got strength requirement and pin to the wall, I think is going to be something together. Now, this could go in 2 different ways. The facts, I guess, can be, yeah, because I remember this, right? You could choose one or the other. So first one, feat of strength. It requires a much greater strength than that of the average man to be able to pierce a man's chest with a harpoon all the way through to the wall. A degree of skill would most likely be necessary. 2 men in cooperation might achieve the same result. Lucky throw. There is a remote possibility that an unskilled and untrained man could manage to pin Peter Carey to the wall with a harpoon. I'm going to say most likely it's feat of strength. It is amazing the things that you can do when you feel your life is in danger, but I'm going to go feat of strength. Okay, so as you can see, it doesn't really help us out in any way, and I believe you can go back into it and change it at any time. So, if I'm not mistaken, in this game, and these games, these 2 of the specific part of the trilogy, I guess that's going to happen now, is that you can deduce whatever you want. Even if you're wrong, you can finish it and go all the way through and be wrong, and then live with those consequences. So you can always go back and change depending on once you have every single clue together, which I think is pretty cool. So we've got more as well. I don't know if any of these... let's see if this one and this one come together. No, I was thinking that maybe they could have. The notebook, break-in attempts. No. I bet you none of these actually fit together. All right, so what can we do next? I think we got to take a look at our Investigate, Wig. Find the crew of the sea. He should be somewhere on Wiggins. All right. So that means we need to go to Baker Street. I love this back and forth, you know, trying to figure it all out. Well, like I said, I will have the walkthrough up, and it'll be just nice and smooth. I'll even cut down some of the cannon fodder so that it just feels like it's a movie you're watching, you know?
Something new, Watson. I have the list of sailors who were aboard the Sea Unicorn. We shall soon learn what happened to Nelligan's father. I have only to find them. Let us hope they're still working at the harbour.
I think that if you pretend you're from Scotland Yard...
I doubt it, Watson. And really, I would prefer that all of this remains quiet for now. But I have another solution. I'll call in the specialist.
And who might they be?
The secret police division of Baker Street.
Ah, you mean young Wiggins and his gang?
Yes. Believe me, you'll receive more useful assistance from these little urchins than from a dozen yard detectives. Those children are everywhere. They see and hear everything, and they are cunning. All they lack is organization. I'll summon them.
How will you do that?
There is always a watch beneath our window. I have only to call him.
So blind playthrough means that I've never played this game, and we're experiencing what is happening together. Meaning that you're seeing it at the same time I am. This is not a pre-recorded thing. We're doing this at the same time live. That's what it means. It means that we're experiencing the story together. And we don't know what's going to happen. We just figure it out along the way.
Wiggins, could you come upstairs, please?
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
Wiggins, I need you to track down certain people for me. I'll give you a list. You can read, can't you?
Big Oliver from our gang. He can, because his father is the coachman of a famous lawyer.
Fascinating. Here is the list of sailors.
Sailors? Easy. Just got to look where the rum and the red lights are.
Almost at 100 likes. Thank you guys already.
Sorry to
That's
trouble
awesome.
you, Mr. Holmes, but the inspector asks that you come to the station as soon as possible.
Thank you. I'll be there shortly.
All right. Looks like we have our next place we need to go to.
My archive. I can always consult with it if needed.
Oh, yeah. I remember that this little desk here has got stuff to do with chemical things.
My analysis table. It is useful for my work.
All right. Let's head to Scotland Yard. Wait, we have one thing here that can be seen. Find a use for the piece of stock exchange certificate belonging to the CPR. Right there. Look. CPR. So we do need to go back to the Scotland Yard because that's where that evidence is, remember? And away we go. That's fun figuring this stuff out. Yeah, the game
Mr.
can be boring for some
I'm
people.
glad
Let's
to see
see. Be a little slow.
As always. What happened?
We have a new suspect, Liam Hurtley. I'm thinking that this case will be resolved very quickly now.
Interesting. Pray tell.
Well, the constable that I left at Woodman's Lee noticed a suspicious individual prowling around during the night.
Do you have him here?
Yes. He refuses to speak with us, but we'll make him talk.
Let us hope so.
Ah, yes, and one more thing. The constable told me that at the time of his arrest, the fellow was writing a letter.
Do you have it?
Of course. It's in the evidence room, at your disposal. Admit that for once, Mr. Holmes, Scotland Yard is a step ahead of you, eh?
Breathtaking.
I love the banter. And see, these types of games, they just really do it. I don't find these boring at all. It's a mystery. You know, there's so many action-packed games out there, so many RPGs, so many of every type of game you could ever want to play. But these slow things down a bit, you know? These require you to think, you know, puzzles and things like that. It's very interesting to me, and that's why I like them. Not everything has to be about shooting and, you know, speed runs and stuff like that. Whoa, we've got his... Oh, hold on. First. Let's look
These
at
are
this
the
again.
suspect's belongings.
Compare with certificate.
I wonder if these are connected.
Now we're looking for CPR. Yep.
Now we have the proof that Nelligan's papers were indeed here. It seems that they have vanished, however.
Now, it also says that we can put something together. Well, let's find out what we can. So, missing papers and hold on. It's either the notebook and missing papers, or it could be notebook, missing tin box. So no, it might be missing tin box, missing papers. Okay. Stolen valuable papers. Valuable bond certificates were kept inside the stolen tin box. We must find these at once, Watson. Onward. Sorry. I find these so fun. Stolen. We don't have anything to really put together yet. So yeah, we're getting more and more clues, but we just don't have enough to go on as of yet.
These are the suspect's belongings.
But these boots, they could possibly be what fits, depending on the size.
Liam Hurtley's old boots. They're a size 9.5.
Now, keep in mind that the boots that we tried before were size 8, and they were too small. These are size 9.5. So we need to go and see that these boots match.
The stains are fresh. They can be removed with the proper chemicals.
All right, so chemicals. That means we need to go back to our apartment or our house and do the chemical testing. Yes.
A pen. Nothing unusual about it.
But it could be mightier than the sword. All right, I know, I'm still in that. All right, so we need to interrogate this guy, but the thing that I want to do, well, should we, okay, what do you guys think? Should we interrogate Hurtley first, then and go do the boots? Or should we go do the boots first and say that our boots match up to Hurtley? I think I want to do that. I think before, yes, we're going to go to Woodman's Lee and we're going to do the boots. We want as much information before we do his interrogation, right? All right, so here it is.
These boots match the footprints exactly.
There we go. So now we know he was here. So we have footprints, maybe no gardener, or break-in attempts. One or the other. No gardener. Unexplained presence. Liam Hurtley's boots match the footprints at Woodman's Lee, thus proving that he was there. Judith Carey denies that he was their gardener. Now, since we know that, let's talk to her real quick and see if that gives us anything at all.
Who could do such a thing?
Okay, no, so we don't have anything on that front. Yeah. All right, so we've got that. Now we can go to Yep. Okay, we're gonna go to Baker Street. We're gonna do the chemical thing first. Then we're gonna go and interrogate him, because then we'll have hopefully everything we need. Do you like the 1920s English accent? I've been working on it for the past 5 minutes. I don't know if it's any good, but I'm trying. All right, here we go. So we have to do this little thing here. Recover Hurtley's letter.
I need to prepare a chemical agent that is capable of removing fresh ink. For this purpose, the chemicals from the flasks should be combined in a certain order to perform a chain reaction.
This is where
First
I usually
condition,
suck.
all 7 reagents should be used. Second condition, orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition, colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
Okay, let's take a look at this one again.
First condition, all 7 reagents. Second condition,
Well,
orange
all right, well, I guess we don't need to look at it. But if you look at it down there, it gives you 6 of the 7. Okay, so you need to figure out, or should I say it gives you 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 7, and you need to figure out the other 3. So the first one is blue, clearly. And it says after every blue, 2 of them, after those 2, it needs to be orange. Right? And then it says after an orange, needs to be white. Okay, so we're going to go blue first. Now, the only color that we've not dealt with in anything is green, so we're going to go green. So that's blue, green. Okay, because there's 2 oranges in the whites, that would make sense. So it's going to be blue, green, blue. And then, now that we've done the 2 question marks, we need orange. Then it has to be white. Then it has to be orange. Then it has to be white. So orange, white, orange. Now, by white, it's colorless, but I'm just going by what I see on screen. Explosion incoming? Oh, that would be hilarious. And then last but not least...
Done. Now I can proceed further.
Elementary, my dear Watson!
Let us see if the content of this letter sheds a little light upon the mystery.
Ooh, I like this. I always found this to be so fascinating when you move this around like this.
I did as you asked and hid them well. Interesting. How would Hurtley react to this?
All right, so let's read it. But I beg you to reconsider, blank, and remember our vows. Vows? Marriage? I have done nothing dishonorable for which you... Ooh. Okay. We can piece something together here. Okay, so it says we have something that we can piece together. Maybe we actually don't. Maybe we don't have something yet that we can piece together because we've got the letter. All right, I'm going to say we don't have anything quite yet. And we need to finally go and interrogate. Let me see, we got these 3 things. So we have the dialogue for the that we can speak to him about. So that dialogue, and that dialogue. Okay, so we've got plenty of things to talk to him about. So heading to Scotland Yard now. All right, so we've got all the evidence that we need to do this interrogation. Hopefully correct. See if Lestrade's in yet. Yeah, all right.
How is the investigation going, Mr. Holmes? Do you have any idea who the murderer is yet?
'Twas your mum. I kid.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation.
Very clever use of loading screens, allowing you to be able to search clues.
Allow
and
me
do
to
things.
introduce
Yeah.
myself. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I would like to ask you a few questions.
I've already told the police that I've nothing to say. And you're not even part of the police.
Precisely, and considering your situation, it might be wise to speak with someone who is, shall we say, rather more neutral. You are a suspect in a murder case.
I know. Inspector Lestrade told me. It's ridiculous.
Could you at least tell me who you are, and exactly what happened that you should be brought here?
My name is Liam Hurtley. That I can tell you. But you're not getting any more than that.
Well, we shall see.
Now I'm gonna give you a little. A fun trivia thing here. If I want someone out there to tell me the movie this is from, because the first thing that he said when he entered the door reminded me of this. Allow myself to introduce myself. Can you guys tell me what movie that's from? All right, let's do our character profile first. I look at the detail in this. Oh, it's so good. Wasn't this Unreal Engine 3, I think? Oh, he's got something on his... Got an old scar on his neck. All right. There's a bird. Crested tit. We all know who else had the crested tit. The lady of the night had the crested tit. There's a lot of crestedness stuff going on there. Got to speak with her again about this guy. She knows him, I bet. Bet you they're having a marital affair. Plant remains. Whoa. Okay, this is starting to make sense. Gardener's hands. There you go. There's your gardener. Boom.
Tell me, Mr. Hurtley, what were you doing at Woodman's Lee?
Woodman's Lee? I've never been there.
Woodman's Lee, I've never been there. All right, so we got Hurtley's boots match. Well-kept garden. Okay, let's go with the boots.
The second pair of boots that you had with you when you were arrested perfectly match the footprints found near the cabin where Peter Carey was murdered.
Footprints? That's your proof? How many men have boots like mine? That doesn't make me a murderer.
All right, moving on.
Now that your presence at Woodman's Lee has been proven, would you care to explain it?
I don't remember. What would I be doing there anyway?
Ooh, this is tough. I mean, that could either be gardener or well-kept garden. I'm gonna have to go with gardener.
Because you are the gardener at Woodman's Lee.
I'm not. How did you...
I observed your hands. They told me that you work with the earth. Small fragments of plants snagged to your trousers indicate that you were mowing very recently. But the most obvious clue presented itself in the bird embroidered on your handkerchief. A crested tit, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, you got me. Yes, I am a gardener, and I went there to get my tools.
So tell me, Mr. Hurtley, what did you hide?
Hide? What are you talking about?
Obviously, this is talking about Hurtley's letter.
I did as you asked and hid them well. Should I continue?
My letter? But the ink? That's impossible.
A touch of chemistry, nothing special.
Well, you're a smart one, but it's nothing. If you want to know, I was referring to my tools. It was to do with my work, see?
I will check that, Mr. Hurtley. That's all for now. Hurtley's stories are false leads, but now I know one thing for certain. I must examine the site where the garden tools are kept at Woodman's Lee.
And we have what we need to do. Going back to Woodman's Lee. So we're gonna maybe we can actually talk to her now, since we know and he's already proven that he is the gardener. And she completely lied to us. Means they could be in on it together.
Does the name Liam Hurtley mean anything to you?
No, I don't know anyone by that name.
Liar!
Madam, we have information that the valuable stolen papers are hidden amongst the garden tools here at Woodman's Lee. We need to find them.
Oh my. Our tools are kept inside the shed that's right behind me. Here is the key to open it.
Thank you, madam.
Okay, here we go.
Let's see what could be hidden here.
Jackpot.
Let
We're
us
doing
see
all this
what is
without
in
Watson.
Box.
Oh no. Oh no. I am so bad at these. Okay, clearly it's rotate the lock cylinders to form a complete line. Please note that some lines are separate. So rotate all. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm starting to get that. There we go. Nice.
A bundle of letters in a woman's hand with the Carey family monogram. Hurtley and Mrs. Carey were in a relationship. That is interesting.
Liam, my dear, you have been so good to me all the time that I have known you. I cannot describe these feelings, but I suppose that they are sinful and no good can come from them. I fear what might happen. I fear you might... and I might feel something very, very naughty. I fear going against God. I thank you for your care, but I cannot leave the man with whom I have been bound by God. It is his divine will, and thus my husband is the cross that I must bear. He makes my life a living heck. But bruises fade, except for when he hits me in the face. It takes quite a long time to heal, but I digress. You must not worry for me. I'll be fine. That's one of the things I love about playing these types of games, is I get to pretend to be someone else even for a quick second and have fun with the voiceover work, even if it is stupid. I know. All right, so Judith Carey's letter, and okay, those don't go in together. There's got to be the missing papers. Gotcha. Nope. What? How can... Huh. All right, let me figure this out. So missing papers. Gotta be that one then. Yeah. Deduction. Nilligan was looking for his father's papers inside Black Peter's cabin. Explains his presence at the scene of murder. I don't know why I just went into like a more Scottish accent there. That was weird. Whoa, did the stream stop? Is everything still working? I hope. Okay, we are getting somewhere now. Jean Neglin is a victim of circumstance. He does not fit the portrait of the murderer, either by physical or psychological description. And I believe that to be true. So I think he's innocent. But remember, you can... Here's the thing. You can go and you can change these around. And they will open up new things. But I'm going to stick with the feat of strength. So... I think he's negligent. I don't think it's him to do it all. But we're gonna go talk to her now that we actually know.
Madam, I am aware of your affinity with Liam Hurtley.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Oh, okay, all right. Outline in the dust. It's got to be the romantic correspondence.
Mrs. Carey, we found your letters.
My letters? I asked Liam to return them to me. I wanted to burn them.
Why did Mr. Hurtley put them inside the garden shed?
I don't know. I wanted them back, but I couldn't see him, not after what happened.
Well, here they are.
Oh, this is terrible. Terrible. Liam, how could he? After what he has done.
You believe that he killed your husband?
No, I do not know. I do not know. Leave me alone, please.
I think I really nailed her
Thank
voice.
you, madam. I wonder if Wiggins has managed to find any sailors.
All right, we just got another +1. Okay. This one and... Yep. Okay. Liam Hartley loved Judith Carey so desperately that his jealousy could have provoked him into committing murder. Liam Hartley's relationship with Judith Carey gives him a motive for killing Peter Carey. All right, so we've got two. Okay, so we're deducing a lot of stuff here, but we have one. I guess at this point, one more thing that just came up. We need to check that out. I wonder if is that all there is as far as that goes? Is there any other things here? Liam Hurtley's letter. And the maybe the confession? Yep. Okay, good. We still got more. All right. Harmless flirting. It has been confirmed that Liam Hurtley was flirting with Peter Carey's wife and even fell in love, but it didn't go beyond the affectionate but harmless letters and words. Desperate jealousy. Liam Hurtley loved Judith Carey so desperately that his jealousy could have provoked him into committing murder. All right, so we can go two different ways here. Let's see what happens when we do. That opens up this. Now, look what happened. It changed. That little thing that was down here is no longer there anymore. So now you've got Lear gave him motive for killing. Presence of women's Lee on the night of the murder is explained by his affection towards. It just depends on what you want. Let's say it was the motive, right? So it's the other one. It's because we did harmless flirting. So if we were to go with desperate jealousy, then that would make it blue. Yeah. Now you have it. I wonder if there's anything else. Feat of strength. Okay, so maybe if we change this to lucky throw. There we go. So now you can actually say Hurtley is guilty. So if we wanted to, we could finish this. I do say, good sir, good day. We could actually finish this and go ahead and accuse Hurtley, but we don't have all the evidence yet. We haven't done everything. I want to try all of the outcomes. So what we're going to do is we need to head back to home on Baker Street, because now we need the information on the sailors. And if we can get the information from them, then maybe we can piece some more evidence together so we can come up with a proper conclusion. We can go ahead and finish this mission now and blame who we want to. But we're better than that. We're going to wait. We're going to get all the evidence first. I do say...
Mr. Holmes, we found the sailors from that list you gave us.
Well done, Wiggins. Let me see.
All right. So here are the sailors of the information that are still there. We're trying to look for something. Ooh, my computer said we just blocked a risky application. Good. All right, so what this tells me here, harpooner, PC, Pablo Inventrio. He died a week ago, though. Or Patrick Carnes. Patrick Carnes. PC. Do you remember the pouch? Said PC? But we all thought it was Peter Carn, right? Because Peter Carn. PC.
This man is a harpooner, and his initials are PC, the same initials that were found on the tobacco pouch. Wiggins, could you gather some information on one of the sailors that you found? His name is Patrick Cairns.
Hound, buddy, what's up, man? Thank you so much for becoming the newest member. Appreciate it, bud.
Good job, Wiggins. Where is he?
He lives in a small furnished dump of a room, but he's always at the Sea Witch pub, where he does arm wrestles for money and drinks.
Excellent. Here is your reward. 2 guineas.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, okay, so we got some more clues to put together. We got the Patrick Carnes, maybe the break-in attempt, or non-smoker, okay. The pouch belongs to Patrick Carnes. It indicates his presence at the crime scene, but must still be proven.
If I wish to speak to Cairns without alarming him, I had better dress as a sailor.
All right. Ooh, we got to dress as a sailor. Heyo. sailor outfits. I don't know. Do we actually have any of these that we can do yet? We can change our hair now, so we have unlocked some stuff to be able. We can totally make ourselves look completely different. I always like to make myself look very inconspicuous. Get some glasses. Give ourselves the big beard. Not that big. Although that would make sense. Sailors do allow their beards to grow, don't they? Trying to think, where is that perfect facial hair for a sailor? I'm going to say scruffy looking nerf herder, but not too scruffy looking. Which I think it's going to be closer to here. There we go. That's a scruffy looking nerf herder, right?
Now I can approach Cairns.
Hey, Renee, upgraded membership to Solid Snake. Thank you, bud.
Pouch.
All right, so now we need to head to the Sea Witch pub. I have never seen a place more scum and villainy. Yeah, I look like a sailor. Look at me. I was singing the blues way back before my hair turned gray. I'm sitting on the wharf singing Dock of the Bay. Yeah. Oh, come with me. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna go harpooning to the morning calm. Okay, that's enough. Oh, that's why I like to do live streams sometimes, when you can play games like these where you can just kind of let yourself go and have a little fun, and you don't have to be taken so seriously all the time. Like my walkthroughs are always taken so seriously, and sometimes I like to let loose and just have a little fun. All right, so clearly this is who we're not talking to.
Hello there. Are you Cairns?
What do you want?
We've heard all about the gambling and arm wrestling here. You seem like the likely sort, and I'm up for it.
I start at 10 shillings.
Suits me.
Okay. Whoa, I don't know if I remember. Was this in the second one? I think it was. Oh crap, I didn't read it. Oh my gosh, can anybody tell me what that said? I was not reading it, I was looking at the chat. Oh gosh, okay, I guess we're just gonna... Press to push, hold to restrain. Okay, I think it's by his expression. Oh man, I'm so lost here. Yeah, it's definitely by his facial expressions, but... Okay, I think I'm getting the idea of this, but you gotta have... Gotta hold. Alright, now's when you want to go. Okay, hold. Okay, straight faced. Wait. Wait. Got him.
You were lucky. I wasn't focused. Let's go again.
Oh, we didn't even do a character trait. Let's do a character trait first. We can figure all this out. Gold earrings, alright, so he's got money, or he had money, or something. Cheap clothes, though. Strong hands. We already knew that. He's a harpooner. Yellow nails. And he has a tattoo, although I didn't see.
I'm ready to try again.
Fine. If you want me to take all your money, no problem with that.
Okay, facial expressions. Push, restrain, idle, and plan your counter strategy. Okay. Really is a very, very... Oh, you were so close. Got him. Yes. How cool is that? That's wow.
Well,
I like it.
good for you, I reckon. You're stronger than you look. Here's your 10 shillings.
I'd like to buy you a drink.
Good winner as well. That's good. Let's have a drink. You're a good type. Seems you've managed to settle down in life. You've got money, eh?
Not all that much.
Oh, well. At least you're not as poor as me.
Why do you say poor? You're not working?
I'm a harpooner. But you see, the whalers are rare. They don't pay much. So, as a result, find myself arm wrestling to pay for my drink.
A harpooner? Interesting. You've had a lot of adventures, I bet.
Ah, of course. It's been a dozen years since I've sailed. I've seen everything. With old Wallace, damn Black Peter, Great Roger, we sailed to the Cape of Good Hope.
Black Peter, you say? I've heard rumors about that one.
He was the worst of them all. He was a liar and violent too, swinging those fists of his around. He was a tyrant and not much of a captain. At least, not as good as Great Roger.
I see. Yes. I was told terrible tales about Black Peter.
But you ain't heard the worst.
Tell me, and let's have another drink.
It was in 1883 that it happened. The August of that year. Peter Carey was captain of the Sea Unicorn, and I was a spare harpooner. We were coming out of the ice pack on our way home. One evening, we saw a little craft that had been blown north. There was only one man on her, and he wasn't a sailor. The crew must have thought that she had foundered, and they made for the Norwegian coast in the dinghy. I guess they all drowned. We took the man on board.
And who was he?
I don't know. During the crossing, he and the skipper enjoyed some long talks. His baggage was just a tin box.
That's strange enough.
Aye. Even stranger was that on the second night, he disappeared. Nobody knew what happened to him. And of course, nobody could ask Black Peter about it.
You know what happened, don't you?
I do. I saw the skipper tie his heels and push him over the rail in the middle of my watch on that dark night. 2 days before we sighted the Shetland lights.
Black Peter's a murderer.
Aye. Those that know him wouldn't be surprised to hear it. But all this must stay between us. All right?
Of course.
Plant pouch, go to toilet.
Back in a second. I'm off to the Kazi.
I'll be here with my drink.
Be back in a second. I gotta go to the Little John.
Here it is.
I'm back from the Little John. Didn't take long at all, eh?
Have you got any tobacco? I've run out of mine.
Nah, I lost my pouch. I don't know where. Wait a minute. What's this?
Oh, is this your tobacco pouch?
Well, oh, it is.
Well, I have to go now. I know a captain who's planning an expedition to Cape Cod. Captain Ahab's his name. He commanded the Pequod. He might need good harpooners. I'll tell him about you.
Maybe. If you like, aye.
I'm done here. It's time to leave.
All right, so now we can actually deduce a lot here. So let's just find out which one it is. So obviously the pouch. Carnes has confirmed that the pouch belongs to him. This means that he was at the scene of the murder and thus proves his guilt. Carnes has confirmed that the pouch belongs to him. This means that he was at the scene of the murder, but does not necessarily prove that he is the murderer. Let's say we went that way. You see how we got a red thing, right? So let's click on it, but do the other one. Then this would, if we were to choose this, this would prove this, that Hurtley is guilty. I think there's also more that we could be missing out on. There's other clues here. We got the break-in attempt. I don't think they do. Wow, okay. I was wrong. All right, the break-in attempt were made in order to recover the notebook that has been lying in the pool of the victim's blood. This proves the guilt of the person who made these attempts. Nilligan was looking for his father's papers inside Black Peter's cabin. Explains his presence at the scene of the murder. John Nilligan could have been caught stealing once when he was 5, and I did, and I don't want to separate this bad like that. Sorry, I just started doing Jane's Addiction there for a second. I have no idea why. This might have been a motive for him to murder Peter Carey. John Nilligan is a victim of circumstance. He does not fit the portrait of the murderer, either by physical or psychological description. Let's see if we go the motive here. All right. Now you notice we've got 2 reds, right? That's a very simple thing. You just turn over the other one, and then you do that. And now you can come together to this. Both Nilligan and Hurtley are lying, therefore they might be working together. Two murderers. All right, so there's a lot of different options to choose. And I said that we are going to be, because if I remember, and I don't 100% know for sure, but I'm pretty sure that you can go through the motions of every single one, but go back. So what we're going to do is I have one that I feel is the truth. I'm not going to tell you which one that is, but I have one that's I know, or I don't know, but I have the one that I think is the truth. We're going to save that one for the end. Are we missing one? Is there something that we're still missing? Because we don't have any. It says you have found and utilized all clues in the case. So we don't have any other clues. So we're going to start with this one, all right? So here's the conclusions. We've got Hurtley is guilty. All right, we haven't done the other one yet. Let's do the other one first. All right, so let's say don't give any clues, dude. We're not here to spoil anything. I know you might know, but don't say anything. This is not a spoiler thing. All right, so let me do the other one. Okay. Desperate jealousy. No, we're going to go with harmless flirting because that's going to change that. All right. Ouch proves visit. And we need to change this over to lucky throw. No. We need this on feat of strength. It's the only way that'll work. Innocence. There we go. And now we've got Carnes is guilty. So that should prove all three. Yep. I don't know how many there are, but we have 3 possible endings. So those are the 3 that we have. I'm going to save the one that I think is for last. So we're going to start with there's got to be another one too. Is there one that just says that Nelligan could be the, because we have Hurtley as guilty. Okay, I think before I do anything, we've got all.
Care to lose another 10 shillings?
Alright, I'm gonna go to Scotland Yard. I just want to see if there's anything that we could be missing. Thank you, Snowy. I appreciate it. Now we have 3 possible conclusions right now. First things first is I want to talk. I just want to see if there's any new things that we can talk to about these suspects here.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation.
We do. Break in.
Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, what exactly were you hoping to find inside Peter Carey's cabin?
I was trying to find some information about my father.
Ooh, okay. Bond certificate, I guess?
I assume you had another purpose, to retrieve the bond certificates. Am I correct?
Yes. I discovered some time ago that a few of the missing securities had reappeared on the London market. You can imagine my amazement. I spent months trying to find them, and at last I discovered that the original seller had been Captain Peter Carey. These papers, they belong to my family, but I could not find them there.
This is very good
That's
motive.
all for now. Well, I will see you soon, young man.
Please, let me go. I'm innocent.
That is a lot of motive right there. What that tells me is that that he has motive to go in there and possibly kill him to get those papers. Right? So let's talk to him one last time.
I'm not saying another word.
That's it. So we've done everything with him, and we've done everything with him.
What am I doing here? I've done nothing wrong.
All right, so that's all we have. Now, let's look one more time and see if we can come up with a different solution. Because I say feat of strength, hold on, let's go to the conclusion. This changes to Hurtley's. What about just having Nelligan not be innocent? Now, still have. Right. There we go. There. Now we've done all four. We have unlocked all four outcomes. That's what I wanted. I wanted to make sure. Okay, so that's good. I'm glad that I went through that process. So clearly we have every clue. Clearly we have every possibility. 4 of them. We've got Hurtley is guilty. We've got Carnes is guilty. Nelligan is guilty. And the 2 murderers. So we're going to start with what I don't think it is. And then the last one will be the one that I think it is. Okay? So let's start with this one first. And we'll go with this. Now, as you can see here, there are 2 different possibilities. We can condemn Hurtley. Liam Hurtley has been found guilty of the murder of Peter Carey. He must be punished by the law in all its rigor. And then we have absolve. Liam Hurtley's mind was clouded by his love for Judith Carey, Peter's wife. This murder was a crime of passion under emotional duress. Nevertheless, he must answer to the law for what he has done. All right. I guess we're going to try all of these. There's going to be like 8 options, because if each one has an absolve and a condemn, that means we have 8 different outcomes for all of this. So the first one we're going to start is condemn Hurtley. Don't tell me what you guys think it is until we get to the very end, to the last one.
The case is solved.
And then tell me what you think.
I am now ready to present the guilty party.
So tell me, who killed Black Peter?
Yeah, we're going to be doing, Natala, we're going to be doing all of the condemned and non-condemned.
It was Liam Hurtley.
That doesn't surprise me. I've never seen a guiltier-looking fellow.
He was in love with Judith Carey. It caused a conflict that proved fatal for her husband.
I see. Come on now, let us confront him.
I don't know if it's going to tell us which one's the right one.
Liam Hurtley,
I'm just going to go with the one at the end that I think it is.
Of the murder of Peter Carey. We are aware that you were in love with Carey's wife. He was a violent and irascible man. He needed to be eliminated. You had no qualms.
But that's absurd. I'm innocent.
Well, we caught you, lad.
The case is resolved, Inspector. I shall return to Baker Street.
Very well, Mr. Holmes. Goodbye for now.
There you go. So, clues found, 16. Conclusion, Hurtley is guilty. More jurors condemn him. See, okay, so you can check by pressing the back button to see. Okay, we don't want to check that yet because it may spoil the actual ending. So what we're going to do is choose another ending. So you've seen what could happen if you choose Hartley. So let's choose another ending. I love how it gives you all of these options to actually choose from. It's pretty cool. Can we get to 200 likes to finish the stream up strong, everybody? That would be awesome. Thank you so much for being in here, by the way. I hope you have enjoyed case number 1. Now we should be able to go in. I think we still have all 4. So we did Hartley is guilty. Now we're going to do Nilligan is guilty. Oh, no, sorry. I'm so sorry. Yep, you're right. That's my bad. I almost forgot. Remember, we're doing both conclusions, so we actually have to do Hartley is guilty again, and we have to do the other one so that we get all of the endings. So we need to absolve him this time. Almost forgot.
The case is solved. I am now ready to present the guilty party.
So tell me, who killed Black Peter?
It was Liam Hartley.
That doesn't surprise me. I've never seen a guiltier-looking fellow.
He was in love with Judith Carey. It caused a conflict that proved fatal for her husband.
I see. Come on now, let us confront him.
Yeah, I wasn't planning on going this late. I wanted to do this stream earlier in the day, so I do apologize for being so late.
It was you who killed Black Peter. He learned of your relationship with his wife, and he asked that you meet him to share in a drink. Then began the quarrel. He drew his knife, and in self-defense, you took up the harpoon. Lestrade, please put that in your report.
I deny everything. You have no proof.
Calm down and thank your stars that Mr. Holmes just saved your neck.
The case is resolved, Inspector. I shall return to Baker Street.
Very well, Mr. Holmes. Goodbye for now.
All right, so there is that one, and of course we're not going to accept that one. I personally do not think Hartley did it. He doesn't seem to be the type to do it, and it was a crime. Even though what he was doing was out of love, this did not seem a crime of passion, the way that the death was. So we're going to choose another ending, and now we're going to move on to the other guy. See, that's the great thing about YouTube, is that we have followers here on this channel from all over the world. So it's always going to be a different time period, no matter when you stream. So it's so tough to try to please everyone and to have everyone be able to see the stream live, you know? All right, conclusions. Now we can finally move on to Nilligan. And the first one we're going to start out with is Condemn. John Hopley Nilligan has been found guilty of the murder of Peter Carey. He must be punished by the law for this desperate crime.
The case is solved. I am now ready to present the guilty party.
So tell me, who killed Black Peter?
It was John Nilligan, Inspector.
I thought as much, but I failed to see his motive.
Revenge, Inspector. Black Peter possessed the bond certificates that had belonged to Nelligan's father, and young Nilligan wished to retrieve them.
Well then, I'll arrest this Nilligan. I don't fancy his chances of getting out of prison after this.
I will accompany you, Inspector. You are guilty of the murder of Black Peter. Confess now, and your punishment may be more merciful.
No! I didn't kill him!
Your motive? The valuable securities that Peter Carey stole from your father. Carey refused to return the bond certificates, and then he threatened you. You were afraid, and in your panic, you took the harpoon and made your lucky throw.
But that's not true!
You're a liar, Mr. Nilligan. It's all over now.
The case is resolved, Inspector. I shall return to Baker Street.
Very well, Mr. Holmes. Goodbye for now.
All right, so there is another one. And we're going to choose the absolve ending now. Again, you're going to see only the correct ending in the walkthrough. The one that's the immersive walkthrough. That's going to make it feel more like a movie. Which will be in 4K, and that'll be the PC version. John Nelligan is a victim of circumstance. His childhood was overshadowed by the loss of his father. He always dreamed of a reunion to find out what happened. Made a poor decision and so fell into trouble. So sad.
The case is solved. I am now ready to present the guilty party.
So tell me, who killed Black Peter?
Yes, you can write what you think happened, of course. All of you can put your conclusions in there now.
I thought as much, but I failed to see his motive.
Revenge, Inspector. Black Peter possessed the bond certificates that had belonged to Nelligan's father, and young Nelligan wished to retrieve them.
Well then, I'll arrest this Nelligan. I don't fancy his chances of getting out of prison after this.
I will accompany you, Inspector.
I'm not going to read the chat anymore until I tell you my conclusion.
John Nelligan, it was you who killed Black Peter. You attempted to convince him to return the bond certificates, and you threatened to call the police. Peter Carey was drunk. He drew his knife. In panic, you took the harpoon and made your lucky throw in self-defense. Put that in your report, Lestrade.
No, I didn't kill anyone. You have it all wrong.
You better thank Mr. Holmes for saving your neck, Nelligan.
Notice how it is very, very similar to the other one, too.
The case is resolved, Inspector. I shall return to Baker Street.
Very well, Mr. Holmes. Goodbye for now.
Between the absolve and the condemned, they all just changed kind of the names and just a slight bit of the narrative. All right, so again, I'm not going to read any of the comments, and I'm just going to go forward with the next one, and I'll save the one that I feel for the end. So by the time you see this one here, then you'll know which one I think is. But I don't want to talk about it until the very end. But I'm not going to read the comments because I know you guys are probably typing now. I don't want to be spoiled. Well, it's not really a spoiler. We can all come up with different... I'm kind of torn, I guess you could say, between two. I'm kind of torn between both of them and then the last guy. So, but I think I've made my decision. And yeah, so we'll go with the two murderers next. Nelligan is the initiator. Liam Hartley and John Nelligan are guilty of a heinous, premeditated crime. Let them be punished by the law. Nelligan was the initiator and Hurley is accomplice.
The case is solved. I am now ready to present the guilty party.
So tell me, who killed Black Peter?
There are two culprits, Inspector, Nelligan and Hartley.
What? Well, I would never have guessed, Mr. Holmes. They are a rotten pair, though.
It was a combination of two motives, culminating in one crime.
What were their motives?
The first was revenge. Black Peter possessed the bond certificates that had belonged to Nelligan's father, and young Nelligan wished to retrieve them.
And the second?
The second was a crime of passion. Liam Hartley was in love with Black Peter's wife, and this caused a conflict between him and Carey.
Well. Makes sense, Mr. Holmes.
I suggest that you organize a small confrontation between the two, just to confirm my accusations.
That's a good idea, Mr. Holmes. I'll talk to these fellows. Join me in the interrogation room.
Maybe it was the woman in the telescope across
Gentlemen,
the street. She's the one.
We know everything about your association to kill Black Peter. Admit that you planned it together.
Our association? I don't even know this man.
You needed to kill Peter Carey. There had to be two of you there.
Ridiculous. I'm innocent.
All that remains is to determine the level of guilt. Which one of you is the initiator in this case?
But I just told you I've never seen this man before.
It's him. He's the culprit. He was forcing me. He threatened me. He's the mastermind behind it all.
Shut up. You're a lunatic.
Well, it all seems very clear, don't you think, Mr. Holmes?
Inspector, I believe that Nelligan is the true culprit. Hurtley was his accomplice, blinded by his love for Peter's wife.
You've got it wrong. It isn't true.
That's right. I confess.
Well, young man, it turns out you are the gang leader. I don't fancy your chances now.
Well, that's the first time I've actually seen some
resolved,
confession.
Inspector. I shall return to Baker Street.
Very well, Mr. Holmes. Goodbye for now.
All right, so there is that one, and now we are going to do the other one, which is accusing Hurtley of being the ringleader and the other guy the accomplice. But then again, that leaves the final option, which is what I think happened. Which we'll get to after this. Liam Hurtley and John Nelligan are guilty of a heinous premeditated crime and be punished by the law. Hurtley was the initiator, poor Nelligan was just following his lead.
The case is solved. I am now ready to present the guilty party.
So tell me, who killed Black Peter?
Your mum. I kid.
There are two culprits, Inspector, Nelligan and Hurtley.
What? Well, I would never have guessed, Mr. Holmes. They are a rotten pair, though.
It was a combination of two motives, culminating in one crime.
What were their motives?
The first was revenge. Black Peter possessed the bond certificates that had belonged to Nelligan's father, and young Nelligan wished to retrieve them.
And the second?
The second was a crime of passion. Liam Hurtley was in love with Black Peter's wife, and this caused a conflict between him and Carrie.
Well. Makes sense, Mr. Holmes.
I suggest that you organize a small confrontation between the two, just to confirm my accusations.
That's a good idea, Mr. Holmes. I'll talk to these fellows. Join me in the interrogation room.
Getting close to 200 likes, everybody. Thank you so much.
Gentlemen, we know everything about your association to kill Black Peter. Admit that you planned it together.
Our association? I don't even know this man.
You needed to kill Peter Carey. There had to be two of you there.
Ridiculous. I'm innocent.
All that remains is to determine the level of guilt. Which one of you is the initiator in this case?
But I just told you I've never seen this man before.
It's him. He's the culprit. He was forcing me. He threatened me. He's the mastermind behind it all.
Shut up. You're a lunatic.
Well, it all seems very clear, don't you think, Mr. Holmes?
Both are guilty, of course, but I believe that Hurtley was the initiator of the crime.
It's ridiculous. Why would I need the help of this weakling?
You wanted to be rid of the man who was terrorizing his wife, and who prevented the two of you from being together. Young Nelligan was just following his lead.
You are wrong. I have nothing whatsoever to do with this.
You'll explain that to the judge.
The case is resolved, Inspector. I shall return to Baker Street.
Very well, Mr. Holmes. Goodbye for now.
All right, so there were those conclusions, and now we get to the one that I think is the actual one. That is not what I choose. Nope, this is what I choose here. However, I'm going to choose the first one that I don't want to choose at the end. So the last one that I choose is the one that I completely 100% go with. Carnes is guilty. So there's two options. I'm going to choose the one I don't think is the right one, and then the final one is going to be the one that I choose that I think is right. Patrick Carnes is a cold-blooded murderer. He has been found guilty of the murder of Peter Carey and must be punished. Punished to the full extent of the law. Notice how that one took the... Wow, so this one actually has more cutscenes than the other ones.
If you wouldn't mind, Mr. Holmes, could you explain it to me?
As I informed you on our way here, Patrick Cairns is the murderer of Black Peter.
Why bring me here? Wouldn't it be better if we were out looking for him?
That would be futile, as he will be with us in approximately 12 seconds.
Oh, well, if this is your idea of humour...
No, I just heard the front door. Prepare yourself.
Good day, gentlemen. A young lad gave me a note from Captain Ahab. Am I at the right address? Is he here?
Indeed, it is the correct address. But in place of your captain, may I present to you Inspector Lestrade of Scotland Yard?
That means...
It means, my friend, that you are arrested for the murder of Black Peter.
What? What? A trap? You think you can take me?
Here now. We'll have none of that.
And I say that we will.
Ooh, we get a little thing here. This is cool.
Nice. Are you all right? Are you able to stand?
Oh, my jaw. Gore. He took me by surprise, Mr. Holmes. Otherwise, he would have seen what I'm capable of. Oh.
Yes, he was lucky.
But you got him.
It was remarkably easy. He lost his balance after he struck you.
And you practice boxing, I know. You must have hit him hard. Our fellow is knocked out.
We should call for a police cab and then take you to the hospital.
Yes, well, no need for a hospital. I would prefer to keep this between us. You know.
Of course, Inspector. The case is closed.
That is one way it could have happened. Enter Clue music. From the, you guys remember the movie Clue? That's one possible ending. All right, so now we're going to finally choose the one that we 100% truly believe. I do like how you get to unlock a an achievement right there. That was pretty cool. The Bruiser achievement. All right, so here's the one that we 100% totally agree with. Patrick Carnes killed Peter Carey. The murder was not premeditated. It was in self-defense against an armed and irrational drunken sailor.
Good afternoon. I must be at the wrong address. I'd like to speak with a ship's captain, a Captain Ahab. Is that you?
No, my name is Sherlock Holmes.
That detective fella? So, you wanted to see me?
That is correct. We need to talk.
About what?
About Black Peter, who was killed in his own hut with a harpoon.
You know, don't you?
Yes.
How?
The tobacco pouch. You recognized it.
Oh, the sailor. It was you. Unbelievable. Well, fine. I confess. But if you really do know everything, you should also know that I didn't want to kill him. He made me do it.
I know. Did you know about this story with the bond certificates? Did you need money?
Yeah. I just wanted him to cough up a little silver. I'm out of work, and I thought maybe he could help me. Well, he refused outright, and he insulted me. I reminded him I knew all about that murder he committed at sea in 1883. Then he got mad when I spoke about his treasure. I barely just had time to throw the harpoon at him before he could jump at me with his knife. You know the truth. What will you do now?
I ask that you return the bond certificates. Keep some of them. You will need them in your exile. It is better that you leave the country for a few years.
And you won't say anything to the police?
I will not say anything as long as you return the money.
Well, I'll do as you ask. But what about Inspector Lestrade?
I will deal with him. Goodbye.
It's good that you asked me to come, Mr. Holmes. We do need to talk.
About what?
What do you mean? Our case, Mr. Holmes. You sent me a message via your little thug.
His name is Wiggins, Inspector.
Telling me that the case is solved. Well, Mr. Holmes, tell me, who is our murderer and where is he?
The morgue.
Eh?
His name is, or rather was, Pablo Coventrao. He was also on the ship with Peter Carey, and he was a harpooner. I'll tell you everything, Inspector, but do calm down. Mrs. Hudson will bring us tea and orange cake.
Orange cake? You're spoiling me, Mr. Holmes. That's my favourite.
Ah, Mr. Holmes. Inspector Lestrade told me that I should thank you for clearing my name. He also said that you were waiting for me here. I came as fast as I could. I cannot thank you enough. It is all because of you that this nightmare is finally over.
I believe that this belongs to you.
My father's securities. Incredible! But how did you get them?
It would take far too long to explain.
Tell me. This is extraordinary. You are a genius.
Then that may serve as an explanation. Goodbye, Mr. Nelligan, and good luck.
Goodbye, Mr. Holmes. And thank you. 1,000 times thank you.
Now, that's what I believe would truly happen, okay? So here's the thing. I'm a little pissed now because we used someone else's name as the murderer. So we literally just said an innocent person, the Pablo guy, who was already dead. He died a week before, right? We have just now tarnished his name and said he killed. So forever in history, he will be known as the killer of Black Peter. That is kind of an evil thing to do, right? But clearly this is the correct one. You saw all the extra cinemas. You saw how we gave the bonds and his securities back to the guy there. Clearly this is the right one. So what we're going to do now is we're going to test that. And we're going to hold the back button to check our conclusion. There you go. 16 out of 16 clues found, and the conclusion is Carnes is guilty. However, that is a very interesting thing. Moral choice, I guess it doesn't matter which one you choose. It just matters that you pick the right guy. So green... does green mean that's right? I'm guessing green means right? Well, either way that we've done it, we figured out we did every single, I think. There was no other clues that we could have found. So how would we be able to come up with a different ending, another ending? Do you know what I mean? So it seems like that was all there was. But think about it. For one, just one case, I think there's like 5 cases in this game. That was just the first case. There is 4 endings with 8 possible different conclusions to those endings, because you could choose to absolve or condemn. That is a lot for just one freaking case. Now, I'm pretty sure that the way that these games run is that there's like an overarching story that connects all of them together in some way. So I wonder, as long as you get them all right, you get the true ending at the end of the game. I don't know if that's true or not. Obviously, we'll find out as we go through it. But we didn't choose incorrectly. We decided that we chose right, and all points led to Carnes being the actual guilty one. He was the strongest. Everything led to that. But again, you could make any decision you want and go on with the game and choose whoever you wanted to have killed. I mean, or you wanted to say who the killer is. It doesn't matter. You get to choose. And I love games that allow you to have that choice. So there you go, ladies and gents. The fate of Black Peter is finished. We are going to accept this decision. And our ranking was sympathizing. Okay. And it looks like the next one is called Riddle on the Rails. Okay. That will be in the next stream that we do for this game. I hope you guys all enjoyed. It has been my pleasure to bring this game to you. Help us get to that 200 likes. We're so close already. I'm going to skip this because we don't want to start that up. Again, I think there's a 5, if I'm not mistaken, in here. Total of 5 cases, I think. But right now we finished the first one, The Fate of Black Peter. Hopefully you all enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching the stream. Love you all. Take care of yourselves. And I will also get to work on doing the immersive walkthrough for this as well. Maybe I'll just make it into one long video. So we'll do these streams here as my main videos. And then we'll put all of the cases together in one long video for the entire game. I think that would be a good idea. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below once the video is out. So love you guys. Take care of yourselves. Thank you for stopping by. And I will see you on the next stream. Thank you to the 2 new members that we picked up today. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much to Robster and to Hound. And thank you to Renee for upgrading his subscription as well. So be safe, everybody. And thank you to the donation as well. I'll see you next time. Peace. Don't forget to join our Discord. Links are in the description. Become a Patreon, all that great stuff. Thanks to Renee for putting all those links in there. Thanks to the mods, Spooky, Shadow, Renee. You guys are awesome. Thanks to Brandon, because it's always his fault. So whenever anything in your life goes wrong, blame Brandon. All right? Love you guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.